DC motors. It is an electrical machine in which electrical input is given and mechanical output is taken. That means a machine which converts electrical input into mechanical output is known as DC motor. And the main principle in the DC motor is when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, a force is experienced by conductor whose direction is depends upon Fleming's left hand rule. So this is the main principle. When a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field and force is experienced by a conductor. This is the principle of DC motor. Where a generator, when a rotating conductor placed in a magnetic field, it experiences an EMF. So whose direction, that the force direction is from the Fleming's left hand rule. So Fleming's left hand rule means if we stretch our forefinger, middle finger, thumb finger perpendicular to each other, then forefinger will indicate flux direction, middle finger will indicate current direction, and thumb indicates force direction. So let us see the details of Fleming's left hand rule. Consider a magnet's north pole and south pole. Always flux flows from north pole to south pole, and in this field consider a current carrying conductor whose direction is into the conductor. Into means cross section, out to means dot. So cross means into the conductor. From right hand rule, when current direction is indicated by thumb rule, and remaining fingers will indicate the flux around the conductor. So current carrying conductor will have the flux due to its own current, and it's placed in a magnetic field, main field. There will be two fluxes. One is current due to current carrying conductor, another is north pole and south pole magnetic field. And these two fluxes will add up in upside of the conductor because the direction is same, and these two fluxes will be cancelled and will be opposite in downward direction. So resultant, the more flux, due to more flux, the conductor is moved from upward to downward direction. This is the theoretical point of view. And same concept can be explained from Fleming's left hand rule also. That is, if we stretch our left hand forefinger, middle finger, thumb perpendicular to each other, then the forefinger indicates, forefinger should be in the direction of flux. So from left to right. And middle finger will indicate the current direction. Current direction into means middle finger will be into direction and flux is from left to right, and thumb indicating vertically downward direction. Middle finger current in the conductor, forefinger means flux direction, and the thumb indicates the force direction. This is from the rule, Fleming's left hand rule. That is middle finger, forefinger, and thumb will be in vertically downward direction. So this is the Fleming's left hand rule, and the main principle is when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field and force is experienced by the conductor. If one single conductor is considered, then it is known as force. But if so many conductors are placed in an armature, that means armature consists of so many slots, just like generator. And in the slots there will be conductors. If so many conductors are moving the same direction, that twisting moment is nothing but torque. So for single conductor it is a force, and if so many conductors, then it is known as a torque. So torque is experienced by the armature, where the force is experienced by the conductor. That is the main difference. Torque is represented by T, and we will derive the torque equation also. Next, we have already seen that from the principle, the force is experienced by the conductor. That means the torque, due to that force, the conductor is moving. When the conductor is moving in the magnetic field, according to generator action, then EMF is also generated. Motor action is followed by generator action. So motor action is a force is experienced by the conductor. Whenever the rotating conductor placed in again magnetic field, an EMF is induced due to generator action. So that is due to generator action, an EMF is generated in the armature, but it is opposite to that of armature current. But its direction is opposite to that of main cause, that is armature current. The equivalent circuit of the motor is an armature rotated with the armature current and Ra and supply to the voltage of V. Then I is nothing but V minus EB by Ra. That EB is nothing but induced EMF in an armature of the motor, and which is also equal to generated EMF in the case of generator. That EB is known as back EMF because it is opposite to that of current flowing in the armature. So it is indicated with minus, and name itself indicates back EMF, and that EB value is nothing but phi ZNP by 60A, which is the generated EMF equation in case of generator. The construction of DC motor is also same as generator only, so we are not repeating that construction diagram. So EB is nothing but EG in the case of generator. Next, different types of motor. Just like generator, there are also same types of motors will be there, separately excited, self-excited. Self-excited means again series, shunt and compound. So we will see the detail. So first one is separately excited DC motor. So consider a motor. So motor is represented with M, where a generator means G, with brushes. Separately means the field winding is separately excited with a DC supply, and motor is connected to the supply of voltage V. Field winding is RSH and current flowing is ISH, and current flowing in supply is IL and current flowing in armature is I. If we see the direction, current direction is reverse. Current direction is towards the armature because the motor input is electrical. So IL also, IA direction is reverse if you cleanly observe. And from this IL is equal to IA and ISH is nothing but VDC by RSH. And here supply is nothing but output plus losses, that is V equal to EB plus IARA. If precious loss is considered, then we should be considered, and if it is not mentioned, it can be neglected. In problems, we can clearly understand this one. Next, power input in the case of DC motor is PI is nothing but the supply voltage and supply current. That is, PI is nothing but V into IL. And similarly, the power developed in armature, that is armature power, PA is nothing but armature voltage and armature current, that is EB into IA. So similar to the generators also. Next, after separately excited DC motor, next type of motor is DC series motor or series DC motor. As the name indicates, the field winding will be in series with the armature. So consider armature with the EB back EMF. RA is the armature resistance, IA is the current flowing to the armature, and series resistance as RSC, and series winding current is ISC, and supply as V, and supply current is load current, that is IL. And from clearly it can be understood that IA value is equal to ISC is equal to IL. All the currents will be equal. Next, supply voltage V will equal to EB plus losses, that is IARA plus ISC RSC. Since IA value, ISC value can be equal, we can common the IA also. So we can rewrite this if necessary. Next, power input is nothing but V into IL, and armature power is nothing but EB into IA. This is about series DC motor. Next, shunt motor. In shunt motor, the field winding will be in parallel with the armature. So consider an armature with brushes. EB and RA is the armature voltage and resistance. IA is the current flowing through armature. RSH is the shunt field winding, and current flowing through this is ISH. And supply voltage as V, and current flowing through the supply is IL. And by applying KCL, IL value is equal to IA plus ISH because incoming current is IL and outgoing currents are IA and ISH. Next, ISH value is nothing but V by RSH. And supply voltage, that is V equal to EB plus IARA, that is drop in armature. Input power, that is PI is nothing but V into IL, and armature power is PI equal to EB into IA. This is about shunt motor. Next, short shunt compound motor, in which the parallel winding resistance will be across only armature only. that is about short shunt compound motor. For this, consider an armature with EB and RA, voltage and resistance value. Current flow into them is IA, and RSH has the shunt field winding across the armature. The series field winding is RSC. Current flow into series is ISC. Supply voltage is V, and supply current is IL. Just like generator lies only, but only the current direction is reversed. Remember that. Yeah, if we closely observe from this, IL value and ISC value will be equal, and IL value is divided as IA plus ISH. Next, ISH value is nothing but V minus IL RSC divided by RSH, because voltage, supply voltage minus losses, V minus IL ISC RSC by RSH, which is also equal to EB plus IARA by RSH. So both formulas can be used. Next, input power is nothing but V into IL, and armature power is nothing but EB into IA. This is about short shunt. Next, long shunt compound motor. So for this also draw the diagram in which the parallel resistance path will be parallel to both series field winding and armature. So just like short shunt only, but the shunt resistance will be extended to the series winding also. And if you draw the diagram with the motor EB and RA and IA, RSC, ISC, RSH and ISH, and the supply side V and IL, this will be the long shunt compound motor. And if you observe that IA value and ISC value will be both equal because they are in the same branch. IA will be equal to ISC, and IL will be divided as ISC plus ISH. And shunt field current, that is ISH value, is nothing but V by RSH, and supply voltage V equal to EB plus IARA plus ISC RSC, and PI, that is input power, is nothing but V into IL, and armature power is nothing but EB into IA. So these are the equations for the different types of DC motor. Now let us derive the torque equation of a motor. For this, let us consider an armature whose resistance is R, and force acting on this one is F, and direction of rotation of this armature is in the clockwise direction with the speed of RPM, rotations per minute. The twisting force about its axis is nothing but torque only. So the twisting force about its axis is nothing but torque. That is, torque is called force into radius, or force into perpendicular distance actually. So for this, consider the angular speed of the wheel, angular speed of the armature or wheel. So angular speed is generally measured in terms of radians, that is omega. So angular speed omega is nothing but 2 pi n in radians, and if it radians per second, then omega value will be equal to 2 pi n by 60. So if it is radians per second, if only radians, omega value is only 2 pi n. Next, work done in one revolution is force into distance traveled in one revolution. So first let us write the work done for one revolution. So work done for one revolution, let us represent with W, and which is nothing but force into distance traveled in one revolution. Force value is F, and distance traveled means, since it is a circumference is nothing but circle, that is nothing but 2 pi r. So distance traveled will be generally equal to 2 pi r. So F into 2 pi r joules, since it is a work. Next, power is nothing but work done by time. So power developed P is nothing but work done divided by time. So work done is just we have derived as for F into 2 pi r, and time for one revolution. So let us first calculate the time for one revolution. Generally the rotation is in RPM, that is n revolutions in 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. Then time taken for one revolution is 60 divided by n. So for n revolutions it is 60 seconds. So one revolution the time is 60 divided by n. Then substitute 60 by n in time. Then power equation value will be equal to f into, so let us f into r, let us write one term, and 2 pi n by 60. So f into r is nothing but a torque, and 2 pi n by 60 nothing but angular speed in radians per second. And this is the power equation. Let us keep it one. And power developed in armature we have already seen in the different types of motor, that is PA value is nothing but EB into IA, various armature voltage and armature current. So P can also be written as EB into IA. So substitute in this one. So EB into IA is equal to T into omega means 2 pi n by 60. Next, EB value is nothing but back EMF value, which is generated EMF in the generator, that is 5 ZNP by 60A. Substitute the equation in EB. Substitute this equation, and we can cancel some terms, that is 60 and n value. Then finally write the torque equation. So T is nothing but 5 ZP IA divided by 2 pi into A, where phi is the flux, Z is the number of conductors, P is the poles, IA is the armature current, and A is the number of parallel paths. Out of this, 1 by 2 pi is a fixed value, that is constant value. So 1 by 2 pi can be written as numerically as 0.159. So torque value is nothing but 0.159 into phi IA ZP by A. Since it is torque, it is units is Newton meter. So this is the torque equation, very important question. Try to practice this derivation also. So 0.159 phi IA ZP by A. Consider a problem of a motor in which a 4-pole 500 volt DC shunt motor. So first draw the shunt motor diagram along with the equations. For this, let us consider an armature with EB and RA and IA be the terms in armature, and RSG is the shunt resistance and V is the supply voltage. And if you write the equations, then IL will be equal to IA plus ISH, and ISH value is nothing but V by RSH, and V value is nothing but EB plus IARA. Since the brush drop is given, we have to consider the drop also, that is E equal to EB plus IARA plus 2 brushes into 1, so 2 into 1. Now write the given data. P number of poles is equal to 4, voltage is 500 volts, and number of conductors, Z value is 720, and armature current is 60 amperes, and the flux is 0.03 Webers, and armature resistance RA is 0.2 ohm, brush drop is 1 volt, and number of parallel paths, since it is so brush drop, so we have to consider that one also, and since it is wave, and the number of parallel paths will be equal to 2 for a wave. Now write the back EMF equation, that is EB equal to 5 ZMB by 60A, in which EB is the generating EMF or back EMF, phi is the flux, Z is the number of conductors, and is the speed, P is the number of poles, and A is the number of parallel paths. And EB value is also nothing but V minus IARA minus brush drop, that is 2 into 1. And if you substitute all the values in EB, then you will get EB as 486 volts. So once the 486 volts is substituted in the first equation and all other one, then you will get the speed, which is 675 rpm. So for this, we have to consider the number of parallel paths as 2, because in the problem it is given as wave. So wave means A equal to 2. Next, consider another problem in which we have to calculate generated EMF when the machine is running as generator as well as motor. So in the first part, let us consider it is running as a generator giving 80 amperes, that is delivering 80 amperes. In the question, Ra is 0.12 ohms and V is 230 volts. So first diagram, draw the generator diagram, then you will know the clear idea. For this, let us consider an armature with the Eg as the generated EMF and Ra as the resistance. And since it is separately excited, we are not drawing any field windings, and which is connected to the load. Load voltage is Vt, load current is IL, and armature current is Ia. So Eg is generated EMF. So in the first one, as it is generated giving the load current of 80 amperes, Ia value will be equal to 80 amperes and the terminal voltage will be equal to 30 volts. So next, if we write the Eg equation, Eg is nothing but from generator diagram Vt plus IaRa. Substitute Vt values, Ia values and Ra value, then you will get the Eg value, generated EMF value, which will be equal to 238 volts. Okay. Next, in the second part, the same question is asking running as motor taking a 60 amperes. So taking means, so IL value is 60 amperes. Okay, first let us write the equation of the diagram of the motor. So since V is the supply voltage, IL is the supply current, Ia is the armature and Eb is the back EMF and R is the resistance. So first take the IL as a 60 amperes, V is a 230 volts. Now so V equation is V equal to Eb plus IaRa. So substitute the values of V, Ia and Ra values, then you will get the back EMF equation. So in motor, generated EMF is nothing but back EMF equation only. So generally the pressure drop is neglected, and if the question the pressure drop is asked, then we have to consider. Okay. Next, let us derive the torque equation of a separately excited DC motor. Speed torque characteristics. So for this, let us consider a separately excited DC motor in which RSH is separately excited from DC source, VDC, and winding RSH and current flowing is ISH. Supply voltage is V, current is IL and armature current is Ia, Eb is the back EMF and Ra is the armature resistance. So supply voltage V equal to Eb plus IaRa. Consider this is the first equation, and where Eb is the back EMF and whose equation is nothing but 5ZNP by 60A. This is the back EMF equation. Next, let us consider the torque. So torque is nothing but 0.159 Ia Zp by A, which we have derived. And from this, all are the constant except phi Ia. So 0.15 is a constant, number of conductors is a constant, poles will also be constant, and parallel paths will also be constant. So T can be written as K into phi Ia. Let it be equation number 2. And Eb equal 5ZNP by 60A can also be written in terms of constant values. So phi and speed are the variable values, remaining all are the constant values. So we can write it as K1 into phi n. Let be equation number 3. And from equations 1 and 3, from equation 3 we can write n value is nothing but Eb by constant K1 into phi. And in this, Eb can be written from equation 1 as V minus Ia Ra. So finally from 1 and 3 we can write n equal to Eb by K1 into phi, which is nothing but V minus Ia Ra by K1 into phi. Now divide this as a two terms. So n is equal to V by K1 phi minus Ia Ra divided by K1 into phi. So in which second term, we have that Ia is equal to nothing but T by K phi from equation 2. So Ia value is nothing but T by K phi. So substitute this one. So in place of Ia, divide k by t by k phi, that is 1 by k1 phi into t by k phi into Ra. So finally you have substitute, and finally the n value can be written as v by k1 phi, that is one term, minus Tra by k1 k phi square. That is, the relation between speed and the torque equation is having two terms. One is constant value v by k1 into phi, that is constant, minus Tra divided by k1 phi square. So finally we can draw the characteristics between the speed and the torque, which consists of two parts. One is constant part and another one is depending on torque part. So in first, so consider speed on y-axis and torque on x-axis. So when torque value is 0, the speed value is constant, that is v by k1 into phi. So if torque is 0, then speed should be constant, that is known as no load speed. And when the torque is present, as the torque increases, speed value decreases. So there will be two terms. One is no load speed, which is constant, and one is as the torque is increases, it will having the speed will be decreases for 2 to 3%. So when t equals 0, speed is constant, which is called as no load speed. Next, as the torque increases, speed decreases. That means speed will be having dropping characteristics. So for no load it is constant, and for actually load, that is as the torque increases, the speed will be having dropping characteristics. There will be two types of characteristics. Next, coming to the losses of the machines, just like transformers, there will be copper losses, iron losses, and one more extra, that is stray losses. Copper losses are nothing but iron losses. Copper losses will be in armature, shunt field winding, and series field winding, and iron losses will be same as eddy currents and hysteresis losses, and stray losses will be frictional losses and other windage losses. All this will be given in the diagrammatic form as below. Next, coming to the application of DC generators, shunt generators generally used for the constant voltage purpose, and series generators generally used for booster purpose, and compound motors generally used for welding, and power for offices, hostels, and lodges. Similarly, for the motors, shunt motors are used as blowers, fans, centrifugals, pumps, lathe machines, machine tools, milling machines, drilling machines. Series motors can be used in cranes, elevators, trolleys, conveyors, electric locomotives, whereas the compound motors generally used in rolling mills, punches, shears, heavy planers, and elevators. Generally, compound means they will be having both series and shunt field windings. If both windings are added, then it is a cumulative compound, and if both winding direction is such that total flux is opposite to each other, then it is known as differentially compound. So cumulative compound means both fluxes will add up, and differential means both fluxes will be added reverse. That is for both generators as well as motors also, same conditions.